Hey, I hope you don't mind today. We have a little bit of nature and nature sounds and a little bit of background noise. I just couldn't stand being inside anymore. I don't know if you've had those days, but couldn't handle it anymore. I know when the kids were little, it was those days where I was like pulling my hair out and we'd head to the park or do whatever. And now that the kids are grown, whenever I'm just so sick and tired of being on my computer or my phone, I pace anyways. When I'm on my phone, I like walk laps, and if I'm ever in a public place, people stare at me funny. But today I am working up near my kids' school and I get to just hang out outside. So I don't know when you're going to watch this. It is November right now, and if you watch this in post, I don't know what month it'll be, but our seasons just can't quite make up their mind in Tennessee what it wants to do. So today it is 60 and gorgeous, and as I said, we've got some amazing birds and things flying around, but opted for this instead of inside under fluorescent lights. We have been in a end up being about 4 parts, I believe, series on how to use the Doterra tools, things flying in the face, how to use the Doterra tools to build your business. And we've talked, I'm just gonna do a really quick recap. We have talked already about the Live Guide and the Share Guide, and the Live Guide is awesome because it really, as I said on the video that I've already done, it is to help educate, equip, and empower. And that's the easiest way that I remember that tool and how to use it. I use that language in my wellness consults. If you remember what I said on there in the Elevate Your Results training program, the system that we've set up for you to build your business, to launch your business, to take your business to the next level. We have trainings, really in-depth trainings. So these trainings are more to give you an overview and to give you a little bit of guidance on what these tools are for, how to use them, and really whether you're brand new to the business, that is so helpful to just get really, really clear on the tools that you have and how to use them. And also, if you've been in it for a while, it's actually easy to forget and to stop using things, to stop using parts of the system. You kind of adopt and change your way of doing things, and then you can't figure out why people that are coming in behind you, the wellness advocates, why they're not having as much success. And I can tell you why we've had the success that we've had, and some of the leaders on our team, they've had a system, they've stuck to it, and they've followed it. So these tools are a piece of that system. So as I mentioned, the Live Guide, recapping that, you can watch that video, but we have more in-depth trainings for you on really how to walk people through a wellness consultation, how to use that tool in depth. We also have some wellness consult hacks for you in there on if you can't get people on a phone call, can't get them to commit to that wellness consult for whatever reason, their schedule's busy, you're busy, whatever it is. And then the Share Guide, we talked last week, I told you a little bit about my epic fail in sharing, one of the worst things that I have ever done in this business. That was humiliating, but was turned into something so good because I learned my lesson to never do that again. And just, we talked about how many people that come into this business thinking maybe that they're builders, they're really sharers. And so it's so important that we know how to help those people do what they really want to do, which is really a lot of times it's share the oils. And that resource gives us a lot of the language for that. And so that's really, really effective. So go back and watch that and check that out. Okay, today we're going to talk a little bit about building and the Build Guide. And this one is near and dear to my heart. I know it sounds silly to say that you love a tool this much, but I absolutely love the Build Guide. This is the one I use the most. I don't know if that surprises some of you, but I use the Build Guide all the time. And right now, I'm kind of in this contemplative, reflective mode. I've been in this for, gosh, I don't know, a couple weeks, I feel like a month. And I think it's this time of year, October, November, December, I feel like I always go into such a reflective, contemplative mode, probably because we're nearing the end of one year, about to start another. And I always reflect on, gosh, I feel like there's like monkeys in the trees right now. Who was trying to attack me? But sorry about that. I just get super reflective because I'm thinking about all the things that I've done this year, what I maybe didn't get to. I look at my business, our business, and where it's at. I think about the relationships and the people. I think another reason I'm super contemplative this time of year is our kids' birthdays. All of our birthdays are like falling in like a 62-day window. We celebrate 9 different holidays starting with Halloween, and then My daughter's birthday is November 6th. Nathan's is November 18th. We have one who's November 25th, like always right around Thanksgiving. Mine's December 14th. We have Christmas. Our anniversary is December 29th, and then New Year's. It is insane. We have so many fun, exciting things that we start celebrating. So it just always triggers this nostalgic, reminiscing walk down memory lane. And so one of the things that Nathan and I have been really reminiscing and contemplating and really talking about is building. Why we've built in network marketing, why we made this huge leap to come to Doterra. Was it worth it? Has it been worth it? Have we accomplished what we wanted to do with this? Where are we headed? What's the future hold? Just all these questions that we've been asking ourselves. And one of the things that, as we've been talking, that it has stirred for me is really just thinking back to just the practical things and some of the practical things of where we came from, and that literally we had no experience in business building, and that something like this actually exists where you can purchase a kit for relatively cheap, and just that day, say you're in business, you can hang your sign on your imaginary door. You don't have to have like a brick and mortar place. You don't have to cut a red ribbon. You can literally just say, I'm open for business. And we were just talking about how really, truly fascinating and amazing it is that we have this type of a business model where we can get started so inexpensively and learn as we get paid to learn, learn as we grow. And that is one of the things that I've been reminiscing about and just so grateful for. Somebody asked me the other day, like, how did you learn all the things that you know? And like any of us in life, and if you have an area where you feel like you excel or you just have some gifting in a certain area, you would look back at that area too and say, well, it's because of what I've walked through. It's because of what I've gone through, and life experience a lot of times teaches us things. And so in this business, wherever you're at today, is not where you're going to be in a year or 5 years if you stick with it, if you keep learning and growing. And I've said this before, maybe you've heard me say this before, but at one of my most frustrating parts of the business, a man said to me, Jenny, did you get paid to go to college? And I said, no. Obviously I got a scholarship, but nobody paid me to go. And he said, well, think about this business. Like, you are getting paid to go to school. You are getting paid to learn and to develop. And that's not even something that most people have the luxury of on a job. You go and you put your resume out there, oftentimes with hundreds of other people's resumes side by side, and you get hired for your expertise so that you better show up and bring it, and you get paid to bring it. And in this business, it's somewhat similar. You get paid to bring it, you have to deliver, you have to do things and be able to sell oils and get people started. But you can get paid as you're learning. The learning curve sometimes can be so big for us. It was so big for me. I felt just so incompetent and inept in so many areas, so afraid to talk to people, so afraid to, would never, ever, ever, even probably like 3 or 4 years ago, if any of you know, even some of our other stuff that we have an online fitness program that we started back in 2010. And when we did those, I was absolutely terrified to be behind a screen or on a camera. I hated it. I literally would go to the bathroom because I felt like I'm going to throw up. I'm just so nervous. And just to even see what's happened in just the last 8 years is crazy. But just to encourage you, that's one thing for us that we've been contemplating is our gratitude around the fact that we can grow as people, as human beings, as husbands and wives and parents because of the business model that we're even in. It's amazing. So that's one thing. Been also really contemplating and so grateful for when we really linked arms and went hand in hand in this business. I had run our business for years on the side, had made some money, had even had some measure of success, nothing that could ever like bring Nathan home and do this full time or anything like that. But when we really went full time together, really out of default because we didn't take a couple other job offers that we had, we literally said no to the life that we knew. The life that we knew was comfortable in a sense because it was familiar. And that life in other ways was highly dysfunctional because we were working, Nathan was working 70 hours a week. He was gone 5 nights out of the week typically. We saw him about 5 to 6 hours on the weekend awake, other than him coming in and crashing at bedtime. We have been talking about recently, we've been able to, I think, be much more honest since it's the span has gone. We've both grown personally so much. We've been able to be much more honest about what that really cost us, what that cost our children. And just the toll that it's taken. We have one of our children, one's turning 14 tomorrow, and one's turning 16 in just 3 weeks. And so we've been able to just have these honest conversations with many adults about what that season of life really cost us all, and why mom and dad made this crazy decision to do what we've done. Our kids have walked this journey with us. They have seen the good, they've seen the bad, they've seen the ugly, they've seen it all. They've seen so much of the good, where we have been able as a family to travel 9 different times, all expense paid, together to places like Mexico and Bora Bora, and Paris. I mean, we have just been all over the world, and Dominican Republic. Our kids have just had a blast doing that. They have seen the world. They did things I was never able to do as a kid. And that was one of my goals with this business, is I want to give my kids opportunities that I've never had. So we've been reminiscing on, did we accomplish those things? And we have. I think as you build your business, your mindset increases and it grows to where you've tasted something that's possible. So your dream's constantly expanding. And sometimes we can get in the danger zone of not actually looking at what we've done and what we've experienced and accomplished, and be so grateful for that. And one of the biggest motivators has always been for me is more time with them, and meaningful time, intentional time, and creating opportunities for my kids that they would not have been able to have apart from this. One of the things that's a brand new thing for us in this season, after 18 years of building, our kids have been able to go to a school that we only dreamed of putting our children into, this private school that they're in now. The amount of opportunities that have come for them, even in the last 3 months of being in this school. And I hesitate sometimes to share these things that have been basically dreams that have become realities. I don't share them often because I also know what it feels like to be on the other side of that, where you're not tasting it yet. You're not experiencing it. You're not seeing it. And it's so easy when you're in that place of, where it's just a dream. It's dim, it's out there, but you haven't actually busted through anything yet. And you feel like, is this ever going to happen? And I've been there. I was there for so many years of building it on my own and feeling like, gosh, I feel like I'm single parenting. I mean, honestly, it was like Nathan's dad was in the military for 23 active years. He was gone 7 years of his life. My husband was not in the military, but he was gone almost 6 years of our kid's life, where we barely got him. And so much of that season, I know what that feels like. And even when we started our business together, it wasn't all like shiny objects and, roses all the time. Super hard. Even in the last couple years, there's issues that come as your business expands and grows. It forces you to have to up your leadership even. And so sometimes, again, I hesitate to share these things because when you're on the other side of it and you haven't busted through yet, it is so easy to let envy or shame or just almost like ourselves to go to this depressive state of like, gosh, they have it all, or we can make quick assumptions about people in viewing. I do the same thing. I can watch Presidential Diamonds videos or people that are doing things that I wish I was doing right now. And I have to really guard that in my heart and go, no, look at where I've been and where I've come. And I'm sharing these things with you because as I'm thinking about the build guide, there are so many reasons why you want to use this guide and share it with people. I've shared a few things in my own personal journey that if we had not started this business, I would not be living the life even that I'm living right now. I wouldn't be experiencing the things with my children that I'm experiencing that years and years ago I only dreamed of. And even in the last 2 years since we left where we were, there's a reason we took such a huge leap. and left everything we'd built at that point for 16 years, walked away from it to start over fresh with a new team, with new customers, new everything. There's a reason. And we have friends that joined us in this new adventure that had said no to network marketing so many times, and you'll probably comment below and say that was me. But friends that said no to network marketing, but they said yes to this because they saw, gosh, if they're willing to leave this, they must either, they even said to us, you guys must be crazy or you must know something we don't know. So we're going to take a risk and we're going to jump in and we're going to assume you know something we don't know, that there is a reason you have stuck with this thing called network marketing for so long, because so many people I know say it's so hard and they say it's, it can't be done, but you guys have done it, and you've done it not just once, but twice. And so they did, and they've done it, and it's been super exciting to see that. And I'm sharing all that with you to say, if somebody hadn't just shared the build process and what this business can be, if they had not shared that with Nathan and I years and years ago, we wouldn't even be where we are now. And I think about Elise Chedevy, our upline. She was a Fortune 500 consultant. I mean, she is getting paid tons of money for an hour of her time. Why would she walk away from something so prestigious, so amazing, that was taking her into big Fortune 500 companies and meeting the best of the best and the top of the top? Because she knew something that so many people don't know, and she was willing to take a risk on it. She is now the biggest Doterra distributor in the entire company, a triple diamond. That is amazing. Presidential 2 full times, and on her 3rd build, she's a diamond. And why would she stick with it? Why would she do this and build something for 8, 9, 10 years? Why would she do that? And she has her reasons, as you heard some of my reasons, but we all have reasons that we have come to this business and are wanting to build it. And so I want to share with you a tool that will help you. I want to frame the tool for you that will help you to help other people experience maybe what you have or what you're building towards. If you haven't really, like I said, busted through to experience everything you want to, you have with this business, hang tight, be faithful, stay consistent. But we want more people to experience that. And as we share that with them, we actually will accomplish and get what we want. That's the beautiful thing about this business. So we're going to take 2 here. We're going to cut away here for a second. I'm going to frame out the build guide for you, give you some context about what that tool is, how to use it, and we'll be back in just a second. And last but not least, our 3rd way that people really come to Doterra and want to get involved, live, share, or build, is this building one. They want to explore and go through this gate of exploration. Am I open to creating an income with Doterra? Let me look at what that looks like. And so the build guide is the perfect way to do that. You can create vision with the build guide, and it really supports an effective conversation for you. Rather than you just having to do it all off the cuff, I hope that you're seeing you have tools that will help you have these conversations. You don't have to make it all up. You don't have to be awesome. I can't tell you, we would not have been able to do Diamond in 30 Days without tools like this. I literally read it. I used it over and over and over and over, and I still do. These are the very tools that I use every single day. If you saw my office, there is there's 5 different file folders. There's ones for natural solutions, class guides, live guides, share guides, build guides, and launch guides. And that's how simple it is. And this guide is awesome for walking people through what Doterra could be for them, for casting some vision, for outlining some getting started steps, for showing them a quick overview of the compensation plan. And it really helps set strong expectations of commitment. This is one of our build guides. Again, yours may look a little bit different, but the idea is the same. We really walk people through how to build that financial pipeline and what that means for them. We walk them through a quick overview of the compensation plan. This can be literally a 10-minute conversation using that guide to walk somebody through what Doterra can be for them. And then it closes out with even some potential action steps if they are ready to go ahead and take action on that today. Okay, awesome. We are back. So the build guide, as I told you, this is one of my favorite tools, one of my favorite things to use. And I'm going to give you 3 ways that I love to use this tool. You might have others. If you do, please comment below. Let me know some of the ways that you're using this tool, because I would love to learn from you. I would love to hear some of the ways that you're using it, since it is one of my favorite tools. Please tell me if you have some other really cool ways that you're using this. Okay, so number 1, and maybe most obvious, is we use this to introduce people to Doterra, to the Doterra business. I cannot stress to you enough, use this tool. When people ask you, tell me a little bit about the Doterra business, I always say, well, why don't we get together and why don't I show you a little bit about it? Or why don't we set up a time where we can hop on a phone call and I send them the digital version and we walk through this together? Why do I do that? Could I just off the cuff tell them all the things we've experienced and about the compensation, about this and about that, and all over the place? Absolutely. But is that replicatable? Can they duplicate what I just did? Absolutely not. They haven't had the same experiences. They don't have the same years under their belt. They can't remember everything that I just said. So I'm actually setting them up for failure in this new business adventure they have if I try to just go off the cuff and do this whole thing from memory, do this whole thing myself, and just pull all these things. Or another thing that I see that a lot of wellness advocates make a mistake with is when somebody says, hey, I want to know more about the business, they text them like 13 links or 13 videos to watch. I might send a video that I know is very applicable and pertinent to what that person's interests are, what their goals or their desires are. If somebody's very mission-minded, I might send them a co-impact source video, but not until I've scheduled a time to actually get with them. And I don't tell them, hey, we're going to get together and go through the build guide. I just say, hey, why don't we get together and we're going to have a conversation about the business. And I'll really show you what it looks like. I can do this in 10 to 15 minutes. I can break this down for you and show you what this looks like and see if it's a good fit for you or not. Okay. And once I have that on the calendar, then I say, hey, by the way, I'm going to be texting you a video that I think you're going to find really, really interesting. Watch it. And I would love to hear what you think about it. What am I always doing? I'm always saying things assumptively. I'm saying things in the positive, like, hey, I'm going to send you this video that I think you're going to find really interesting. I'm also saying, hey, I want you to watch this and I'd love to know what you think of it. Why don't we text me back, shoot me a text back and tell me what you think and what the part that you like the most. And so I'm already keeping that door open for follow-up. I'm already making sure that we have the opportunity to follow up and have another connection. Or I'll say, when we get together or when we talk on the phone on Thursday and we walk through some of the business stuff, I want to hear what you thought of that video because it is so cool. I love it. So one of the things that I've gotten really, really good at, this is a total side note and a whole nother training, is edifying. Edify the tools. We sometimes think we can only edify people, but I edify the heck out of tools all the time. And just, I'm like, you're going to love this video. It's incredible. Here's why. Or you're going to love this conversation. And because I'm going to show you how simple this can be. Why can I say that confidently? Because I'm going to be using a resource that they can turn around and use and just flip through the pages themselves. So that is the first way I use it, is in those one-on-one business prospecting conversations. I've hopefully already either had a 3-way. I've introduced that person maybe to Elise or to somebody else. I've done a 3-way call with them. And I have found out some of the things that they're really interested in, some of their strengths, their interests, their goals, and their needs, their sign. I found out how much they want to make. Maybe I've found out how many hours a week they're committed. And maybe some of that hasn't happened yet. Sometimes these conversations, they're a little fluid. We try to keep things in a specific order so that it's really systematic and very process oriented so that you can learn it and memorize it. We have a whole training video on what that Elev8 recruiting process is, as well as the Elev8 business building process. Make sure you check out those videos. They're in the Elevate Your Results training program. But on those videos, I even tell you that it's got to be a little fluid. You've got to know that sometimes somebody might come to you and ask something that makes you go, you know what? I need to start at this part of the process and then I'll jump there, or I'm going to skip that completely because it's not relevant to where this person's at. So sometimes I've had a 3-way phone call, then done this. Sometimes this is the first conversation and then I get them a 3-way phone call. So just keep that in mind. But super, super important, do this guide with those business prospects. I can't tell you how many times I've done this with people. And I love it. I love telling it. As you flip through this guide, you'll see there's the story of the buckets and the man. I always open with that. I'll say, we sit down and we're at Panera or Starbucks, we're on a phone call, and I'll say, okay, I want to use this guide with you because it keeps things really simple. It keeps us on track. I want to honor your time. I know I told you about 10 to 15 minutes. I know you're exploring, you're trying to see if this is a good fit for you. And I think this is just one of the most concise ways to show you. So is that cool? And I get their buy-in. They're like, oh, yeah, totally. So it's not awkward that you're using a booklet to walk them through. And then I introduce the buckets. Okay, I want to tell you a quick story. You'll see right there at the top of the page, there was a man who, earned his living hauling buckets. And I go right into it so that I can set up the idea of the question of, are you hauling buckets for a living, or are you building a pipeline? And I ask them, if I'm doing this one-on-one, I just say, where do you see yourself? Are you more on the hauling bucket side, or are you more on the building a pipeline side? Okay, so we go through the guide. I just high level everything. So that's the one-on-one business conversation. Another way to use this is if you've seen our success scheduler, you can access this for free. We're actually launching an Elev8 oil store. You can download that for free soon in the store. You can also access that inside of the training program and some other ways that we have out there. But download that success scheduler. Basically, we have mapped out a week for you, a 15-hour week, to show you what building a doTERRA business looks like. And one of the things you'll notice on there is a BBO, Basic Business Overview. And we put that after a class. So you do your class, you'll see a chunk of time on that calendar that shows you to do a oil class every week, and then you've got your basic business overview afterwards. Well, what is that? That's go through the build guide. Guys, this is incredible. It makes sharing the business at the end of a class so simple. I do this in 10 minutes after every class. Now, I'll be really honest with you. Elise taught me to do this. I heard her. I said, okay, I don't have time. My classes are going so long. People are ready to go. And she finally was like, Jenni, are you not doing that at the end? And I'm like, if Elise ever calls you on something, you're like, oh my gosh, no, I'm not. And she's like, why? And I said, because I'm going too long in my classes. And she was like, well, shorten it. And one of the things that I find is the more you know about oils, the harder it is to keep it short, right? So stick to the basic class, shorten it, and save 10 minutes at the end. So after everybody has gotten signed up, they've gotten their kits, you would have already pre-announced, hey, at the end of this next 15 to 20 minutes, we're going to help you get set up with your kit. Find the kit that's right for you. Whoever wants to stay after this class, after everybody's set up, eat your peppermint brownies in this time. We'll have some more snacks for you. We're going to stick around for 10 minutes, and I'm going to show you what it means to build a doTERRA business. It'll only be 10 minutes. We're going to high level overview it for you so that you can see if something's stirring in your mind and you are interested in exploring more about if this is a fit for you or not. This is the time. 10 minutes. We're going to get in. We're going to give you a quick overview, and then we'd love to connect with you more after if you want to hear more information. Okay, so what I've done there is just taken all the fear out of them staying. They don't have to be afraid that they're going to be accosted and held pinned down and made to sign up in this business and sell oils. I use the word explore a lot with people, and it just makes people go, yeah, I do kind of want to explore and see if that's a fit for me. So use that word, take that word and use that at your classes when you're setting this up. So one-on-ones with people, basic business overview at the end of a class. And the third way to use this is in your own, like a business sneak peek preview. So we've done these live where we have just gathered people to do a business sneak peek. Some people have pros and cons of doing this. They'd say only do it after a class, but we sometimes have people that are just very, very interested. They come to us because they want to know more about the business, or maybe you have people on your list. Maybe you're not at the place where people are coming to you, and that's okay. It's not always happening. It's happened to us before. It's not always happening to us. But you've got people on your list that you already know, gosh, they'd be so good at this business. And you can actually gather a few people in a room and just talk about the business for 15 to 30 minutes, have oils there, let them sample oils at the end. Another way that I think this is super effective is doing a business sneak peek online. Create an event for this Invite people personally. Don't just add people to the group or to the event. That's a no-no, because they won't be interested. Go through your list, look at the people that have a specific sign and something that would tell you they're interested in this business, or they have a need, or they have a goal. And then personally invite them, reach out to them, tell them what you're doing, ask if they'd like to be added, to just explore. Use the word explore. Explore if this could be a good fit for you. I know you guys are going through some financial struggles. I know you've been frustrated. I know you're wanting to give your kids more opportunities or get them in that private school, whatever it is that you know about them, and invite them based off that. And then do this as a live thing inside of there. And you can even do a Zoom. You can pop up a Zoom and have the build guide going. You can send the build guide to everybody prior that says they're coming. You can text it to them as a PDF, and they can flip through it with you if you actually want to just do a live and talk through it and hold it. So there's a lot of different ways that you can do this, guys. Those are just some of the ideas, the 3 ways that I utilize this consistently. And I would love to hear from you. Let me know if these 3 ways are helpful to you. Let me know if you have some other creative ways that you're using it. And please let me know, as always, if you have questions around this and you need some additional support, you're getting hung up somewhere, you're not sure, make sure you log into the Elevate Your Results training program. If you are on the Elevate Oils team, get access to that so that you make sure that you log in and see some of the different training that we have around this. But I'm super excited for you to try this out. This is the season. 'Tis the season. Create lots of opportunities to share this. And as I shared at the beginning of this, there are so many people whose lives could be changed with this. I am so grateful. I am so grateful that somebody shared this business with us. I am so grateful that someone shared Doterra and planted that thought that there was even more than we'd ever experienced out there. We wouldn't be where we are today if somebody hadn't. And that's our responsibility. Now that we have tasted that, that's our responsibility to go share that with others. All right, guys, have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye.